Oh, man. How about that State of the Union speech? Was it a State of the Union, or was it simply a stop? A political stop, right? Look, the president, I was laughing. I did. I laughed. And I know that's sad, and I hate to say that. Michelle shows up in a cocktail dress. Republicans sit there silent. Obama is doing his, and I know that we can all do this together. The 1% and the 99%. Oh, please. But it was funny because, when he gets to the part where he's talking about, we need to do more in Washington. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then he says, we can show America and the world that we can come together. We can get stuff done. All this bickering and partisan politics. And then in the next breath, he says, but if you don't do things my way, I'm going to go rogue and do it on my own. My name is Jennifer Brian, and I'm with you. From 1 till 3, Monday through Friday. Glad to be here today. The State of the Union. Everything's great, right? Everything is just perfect. He did this and he did that, and don't you what? Here's the problem, guys. I hope you all watched this last night. Y'all, I hope you, Paula Deen. See, this is what happens when you watch Paula Deen right before you come on the air. I hope y'all watched it last night, or at least watch some of it. And if you didn't watch any of it because it was boring and there was a hockey game on, okay, I get it. But you've got to go online today, go to my Facebook page, go to Drudge, just go to wherever you go, and just read about it or watch some of it, because it was typical. It was typical 2009, the same things coming out of his mouth. 2010, 2011. I mean, it was the same speech he's given. Everything's fine. And here's the deal: the president has done nearly everything he wanted or wants to do, and that is the problem. That is the problem. The president should be running on his record. That's what the president should be doing, accentuating legislation he's passed, but he can't do that. Because obviously this economic recovery, right? Oh, but it's great, we're getting better, has been so weak, and the legislation he has passed is so unpopular. What he had to do last night was talk about spreading the wealth around. New policies for redistribution of wealth. All it was an Occupy event. I heard that come out of somebody's mouth today, and that is exactly correct. He talked about spreading the wealth around, right? When he told Joe the plumber that in 2008 before he took the words back, right? Now everybody knew this is what he meant back then, going to spread it around. And now he doesn't care. He's admitting it. Other things going on in Washington. Oh, this is good. This is good. I know something about Newt Gingrich. It will be explosive. My name is Nancy Pelosi, and I've got something up my sleeve. Two things you never want to hear at Pelosi. You don't want to hear her talk and use the word explosive. You just don't. You look at her and you think she probably should look like she's 80, and you know what happens when things explode at 80, right? I'm just saying. But what is this? I have something that you don't. Actually, here's what it sounded like. This is what Nancy Pelosi, Chris put this together, and I'm so grateful. Chris, the producer extraordinaire, we love you. We thank you. And I don't thank you enough every day for all the stuff you do for me, so thank you. But Chris put this together. This is Nancy Pelosi, what she has to say about Newt Gingrich and Gingrich's response.
Because of your history with Speaker Gingrich, what goes through your mind when you think about the possibility, which is more real today than it was a week or a month ago, that he would be the Republican nominee and that you could come back here next January or next February with a President Gingrich?
Let me just say this. That will never happen.
Why?
He's not going to be President of the United States. That's not going to happen. Let me just make my prediction and stand by it. It isn't going to happen.
Why are you so sure?
There's something I know. The Republicans, if they choose to nominate him, that's their prerogative. I don't even think that's going to happen.
That will, and she says it with Let me just tell you, that will never happen. I don't know who was laughing in the background. If the guy who was interviewing her, I heard a little snickering. Seriously. And I really think it's the guy that's interviewing her. Because she is so, I'm sorry, she is so bitchy and arrogant. There, I said it. Y'all, yes, y'all again, you are all thinking it. She is so bitchy and arrogant. But this is what, talk about bitchy and arrogant. Now, this is what Newt Gingrich had to say this morning to Nancy Pelosi's threats, because I take that, what she said, as a threat. All right, bring it.
I don't think Nancy Pelosi knew that a Gallup poll would come out this morning showing you 4 points ahead of the nearest competition, nationally speaking. Good morning, sir.
How are you doing? I sometimes think there's almost a level of hysteria about the prospect of somebody who really wants to change Washington winning the presidency. And I've watched the last few weeks as my campaign has gotten stronger. The attacks have become more hysterical and more factually incorrect. And I have a simple challenge for Speaker Pelosi. They'll put up or shut up. I mean, I have no idea what she's talking about. I don't think she has any idea what she's talking about. But bring it on. My life has been looked at by lots of people, and I've been around a long time. And I just think that when you're a left-wing Democrat, the prospect of a Gingrich presidency is really sort of like a nightmare. And they're right. I mean, my goal is to go to Washington to change it, not just to get along with the old order.
Mr. Speaker,
I love that. Put up or shut up. Bring it on. Nancy Pelosi, back in the 90s when Newt Gingrich was being looked at for various violations when it came to his teaching and taxes, and in the end he was fined, what was it, $300,000, and they pretty much closed the case. Nancy Pelosi, I know, because Mitt Romney wants that part more of that ethics investigation opened up, released to the public, right? And that's just, it doesn't work that way. It's sort of like the whole Herman Cain thing. They do an investigation, they all agree on the terms, then they seal it, and bang, that's it. My guess is Nancy Pelosi is going to somehow, this is what they do, they leak certain things or they make up certain things. Nancy Pelosi she's putting on her depends. Washington will be upside down if Newt Gingrich gets in there. And for his part, by the way, Obama has got to campaign as an incumbent who is striving to help the economy, who's been stopped at every turn by Congress, right? He might be the 1%, but he really is from the 99%. But see, what America knows and what you all should know, for 2 years, he had the largest Democratic majorities in Congress since the 1970s. All right? It ain't Congress. This president lied to America last night. But here's my question. A, do you take Nancy Pelosi's threat? Is that a threat? What is Nancy Pelosi's I'm so afraid, oh my God, no to Newt. And last night, would you have rather the president, and we're going to talk more about all of his lies, that we fact check here on the Jen Brand Show. I know that's shocking, right? Would you rather have the president say, we're in trouble. We are in trouble as a nation, but instead of lying and saying, the State of the Union is strong. What? Now that's funny. 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. Andrea, welcome. You are first up here on the Jen Brand Show, WRKO. Go ahead.
Oh, good afternoon. Wow, Jen. Last night, the president spewed forth more baloney than Oscar Mayer has made in its entire history of making baloney.
Yes, I agree.
I was driving, and it was a good thing I didn't drive off the road because I heard him say such outrageous things. But I'm going to refer you to YouTube, and if you type in familiar rhetoric failed record, someone put together a 1 minute and 27-second clip of comments from his 2011 speech versus his 2012 speech, and it's just like they took and cut and pasted and just put a new date on it. Only the tie color has gone from blue to red. So I hope that you get a chance to play that for the audience. But I'm aghast that the man would say how he, how friendly we are towards Israel when he's doing everything to be anything less. He killed the pipeline. People in Montana are going to work in North Dakota because there are no jobs in Montana. And that pipeline would have brought a lot of jobs in. It's like everything he said is a lie. And I was on the computer this morning looking at a lot of those fact-check stuff. And you got to watch him because some people actually think he was telling the truth in a lot of things. But my big fear, Jen, is that a lot of people drank the Kool-Aid again last night, and that we're going to have 4 more years of this guy. So the Republicans better shore up their act and get us the candidate that has the best chance of beating this person before he beats this country and the rest of us into the ground. I mean, the class warfare theme was strung throughout this. In fact, it was the entire State of the Union, was the haves and the have-nots, and talking about how the rich person's secretary pays the same tax rate. I mean, all this stuff is absolutely insane if you break it down. But the average viewer doesn't take the time and doesn't want to break it down. And if you're already in his camp, you don't care what he says. You're going to vote for him anyway.
You're absolutely right, Andrea. I appreciate the call. Have a great day. Seriously, and I call again. You sound like a new caller. No, Obama, see, guys, the problem with Obama just lies because he thinks people are stupid. And he said it himself. We are not professional politicians, whatever the hell that means. The fact of the matter is the president has done the things that he wants to do. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Obamacare, the Dodd-Frank cash for clunkers, the housing tax credit. The only Obama priority it didn't pass was cap and trade, which was killed by Senate Democrats. I want to say again, the president has done everything he wanted, and that's the problem. It's not working. In the Obama recovery, growth has never exceeded 4% in any quarter. And back in mid-2010, it fell off through the third quarter of 2011. And for the first 9 months of 2011, growth averaged less than 1.2%. The president is doing what he wants, and he ain't getting it done. And all he can do is bitch and moan about the haves and the have-nots. And by the way, in this country, when has there never not been the haves and the have-nots? I mean, he's creating this facade of anger. People aren't angry about rich people. I'm not angry. I'm angry about the president saying rich is bad and then marching his behind the Wall Street and taking their money. Oh, that's the stuff that I'm mad about. Russ, you're on WRKO.
Jen, first of all, Nancy Mussolini is the queen of the bottom of the barrel. She has no personality, and the only way she could ever even get to Congress is the fact that she gets elected by the people with flowers in their hair in San Francisco. Ugh. But other than that, she has no personality. The woman, truthfully, is a witch, and that's the way she is. And I can't stand to look at her. I can't stand to hear her. Now, as far as last night's BS, basically all he was, it was the state of his campaign. That's all he did. And let's face it, he's a decisive, lying con artist.
Think about this.
That's all he is.
He is, Russ. He is, and I hate to say that, but the president talks about obstruction in Congress, and I'm going to do things my way. This guy has been obstructed less than anyone since LBJ. And if you all that are supporting Obama want to look that up, by all means, I implore you to do so. He's a liar. He just lies.
Jen, the way we have to beat Barack Obama is that every one of us out there that listen to talk radio have to aggressively bring this up as a topic of conversation with everyone we know. And basically, we have to educate the people that have drank the Kool-Aid.
But, Russ, they don't want to be educated. It doesn't matter to them. All that matters to them is that their guy... Yes, go ahead.
Jen, whether they want to hear it or not, they're going to hear it from me. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Well, they'll hear it from me, too, Russ. You know where to find me every day. Well, I say, anything can happen, but for now. 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. Also, let's talk on Facebook, guys, right? All you have to do is use my email or just Google me, and we can also have the discussion that way if you don't feel like calling the show. Tom, go ahead. You're on WRKO.
How are you today?
I'm good, sir.
Sounds a little upset.
Yeah, well, I hate being lied to, and the president did it so boldly last night. And then don't even talk to me about that will never happen. It's just I know something about Newt Gingrich. Nancy Pelosi.
She might be talking to a lot of Republicans in the House and the Senate who are scared to death of Newt Gingrich. You know, the answer is two people, a husband and wife team, have kept his campaign alive. Where's all the donations from the key Republicans that want him to win? They're not there. Nobody wants him to win, mostly in the Republican Party. They don't want him to win.
Yeah.
The answer is he can't win. He's got a 54% negativity rating. He's a bamboozler. He's a con artist himself. The president didn't lie last night. The public says that the Republicans, to a vast majority, say the Republicans have been holding things up. The rating for the Republican House of Representatives negativity is much higher than that of the Democratic House of Representatives when you search the Rasmussen, the Gallup, and all those. The people, you just talked to a lady that said, oh my God, and when are we going to get somebody that we can truly vote for? Most Republicans don't want any of those people to win.
Yeah.
So why do you think that Newt Gingrich has a chance? When she said, and I'm sorry, but I did not hear it exactly, and you can let me know, that she said something about this I know, or something I know, or I'm not sure what she said. If she said,
all right. You know what, just for you, Tom. Tom, we're going to play it again. Chris, all right, thanks for the call, Tom. And by the way, people don't like Congress because the Democrats keep saying, hate Congress, hate the rich, hate Congress, hate the rich, hate Congress, hate the rich. It's a mantra, and people are stupid enough or desperate enough or just uneducated or uninterested or irresponsible. I don't know what it is. But again, Barack Hussein Obama, for 2 years, he keeps talking about, I inherited, he said it again last night, had the largest Democratic majorities in Congress since the 1970s. He has done everything he has wanted to do, and it's not working. He can't run on his record, so he's going to say, hate the rich, Congress sucks. Hate the rich, Congress sucks. That's all he's got. Class warfare. All right, let's, Tom, just for you, though, let's play again what Nancy Pelosi, Chris, if you would not mind, sir. Let's, we're going to replay that little snippet for you, and then we'll go into a break, and you guys can call the show. Go ahead, Chris.
Because of your history with Speaker Gingrich, what goes through your mind when you think about the possibility, which is more real today than it was a week or a month ago, that he would be the Republican nominee and that you could come back here next January or next February with a President Gingrich?
Let me just say this. That will never happen.
Why?
He's not going to be president of the United States. That's not going to happen. Let me just make my prediction and stand by it. It isn't going to happen.
Why are you so sure?
There's something I know. The Republicans, if they choose to nominate him, that's their prerogative. I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, wait. Chris, reset that. When she says, there's something that I know, listen one more time. He starts laughing. He's got to be off camera. So I think he thinks she's crazy, or he's all excited about this. Chris, I'm sorry. Play that one more time and listen when she says, there's something I know. The interviewer laughs.
Why?
He's not going to be president of the United States. That's not going to happen. Let me just make my prediction and stand by it. It isn't going to happen.
Why are you so sure?
There's something I know. The Republicans, if they choose to nominate him,
did you hear that?
That's
I hear it. Did you hear him laughing? Why is he laughing at Nancy Pelosi? I'm just curious to know, A, if you heard it, B, why? Who says something like this? Who? Arrogant. This is where we are in Washington right now. This is how bad it has gotten. And they've got the sack, there, I said that too, to blame Republicans. Imagine saying, now Nancy Pelosi, first the media is going to select who the Republican nominee is going to be, and now Nancy Pelosi thinks she's going to choose. She's going to choose who the next candidate for the Republicans will be. They're out of control. 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. Yeah, Obama has got a spring in his step because he keeps telling you, hate the rich, hate Congress. He figures that the public hates Congress and and people think Republicans run it all, and that the GOP will field a weak presidential candidate, and that he can fool the public into believing that only Mitt Romney's taxes will rise if Obama wins a second term. Let's look at his record. All the people that support this president, do you even care about his record? Why don't you? We're going to break. We'll continue to take your calls. Oh, yeah, I'm flustered today. This is Boston's talk station, AM 680 WRKO. You know, 126 at WRKO. Last night, during the State of the Union, the president says, I love this. He's talking about illegal immigration. The opponents of the action are out of excuses. We should be doing more for illegal immigration. Listen to this. We should be working on comprehensive immigration reform right now. But if election year politics keeps Congress from acting on a comprehensive plan, let's at least agree. Listen to this. Figure out what's wrong with this. To stop expelling responsible young people who want to staff our labs, start new businesses, and defend this country. Send me a law that gives them the chance to earn their citizenship. Wait a minute. They have a chance to earn their citizenship. I will sign it right away. It's called Leave the Country and Do It the Right Way. Also, staff our labs, start new businesses. There are no jobs, sir. No one has a dime. Your stimulus package didn't work. And I love this one from people that love the president. It was too small. He needs more money. Oh, my God. William, go ahead. You're on WRKO.
Good afternoon, Jen.
Hi, William.
As a 30-year Marine, I was a little bit appalled at the president's use of the SEAL example as how our government should work. I mean, everyone joins the military with a common mission in mind. And the president's use of that kind of suggested that if you weren't in agreement with him, that somehow you were unpatriotic. That's not the way our government's set up. Our government's set up with, the two parties and other, ideologies to kind of keep each other in check and kind of, not agree when they don't agree on particular issues. The president's use of that example, to me, I think he knew better. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. And it was kind of appalling for him to use that example.
Well, I'm not surprised, though. I'm not surprised because when he uses well, what do you think of? See, he did this. It's all about subliminal. Remember, David Axelrod used to be in advertising before he worked for the president. And what that means is basically, how do you get people to buy your product and believe in something? When he says Navy SEALs, what's the first thing you think of?
You're patriotic, your country,
Well, what recently? See, but yes, obviously.
Osama bin Laden.
Right, exactly. And who's responsible for Osama bin Laden? The president and the Navy SEALs. He does that on purpose because he wants you to connect the dots and think about positive things when he says that, not just about the SEALs. So all of this chat, William, is all for. It is appalling, but for me on different levels. He's politicizing. The bravery and courage of an elite team, and I think that's disgusting, but not surprising.
And one other quick point now that you brought it up about bin Laden, and I acknowledge that whoever's in the White House, should take some credit for making decisions when things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I served two tours in Afghanistan during the Bush years. And for those people out there that suggest that somehow we were sitting around inside compounds drinking coffee and not out there actively chasing this man down who perpetrated the 9/11 attacks is really offensive. And I've heard so many of my liberal friends, whenever I say something about Obama, say, well, he got bin Laden. I say, well, for the year and a half I spent in Afghanistan between 2003 and 2006, I was just over there golfing and skiing and doing all sorts of stuff. I wasn't looking for bin Laden. I wasn't fighting the Taliban. It's offensive. It really is offensive.
Well, William, thank you for your service. Have a great afternoon. It is offensive, and that's why, yes, and I agree with you. Does the president deserve some credit? Absolutely. But it's a compilation of efforts. It's not just about him, but he gets all the glory. He gets all the glory, or takes all the glory, and then takes none of the responsibility for this country not being able to dig itself out based on the policies he has passed during the last 3 years. He doesn't talk about any of it. Again, he goes back to blaming Bush during the State of the Union. Joe, you're on WRKO. Go ahead. Joe, do we have Joe? All right. Let's go to, is it Levy?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, Mr. Abomination, that's what I call him. He reduces the size of government, means less revenue and very high taxes. That's what he's doing, Mr. Abomination.
Well, what did you think about the State of the Union?
State of the Union, it's going to pot. If we don't get that pipeline going into Texas, we're going to lose everything. This guy is dangerous.
Well, you know, Warren Buffett, his buddy, got a lot of money from the pipeline, not that project not moving forward.
Yeah, well, Mr. Buffett is on the side of Mr. Abomination. That's what I believe. He's doing everything that Obama likes him to do, and he's keeping the funds down, and there's going to be very high taxes.
Well, people have to understand that, Levy, thanks. People have to understand, again, the president has not been obstructed. The president has done everything he wants to do, and he can't run on his record, folks, because nothing is working. Nothing is working. He talks about clean energy. He talks about this. He talks about that. What Solyndra? Is anybody even paying attention? He took billions of dollars of taxpayer money and invested in Solyndra, a failed green energy firm. It's a nightmare. But oil is not enough. Really? Okay. Well, it is to Americans. The gas prices are going in the wrong direction. I don't even think. People are so stupid. If gas reaches $5 a gallon, the president somehow is going to blame Bush in Congress. That's how stupid people are. I'm really beginning to think. I like to give people credit, but it's very hard these days. I'm not saying I'm the brightest bulb, folks. You know that. I don't say that. But I try to pay attention. And all you got to do is research. The man lies right to you. But I guess it's like being in a lousy relationship. You know your husband's cheating, but you just want to keep believing because somewhere inside you know he's just a good man. 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. Mark, let's get you in before the break. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Jen, 2 quick points, if I may. With regards to Nancy Pelosi and her, I've got something on new, if she's going to divulge information that came out during those ethics hearings, she can be brought up on ethics charges.
I don't think
all
she cares.
That info
She doesn't
was
care.
all sealed.
Mark, she doesn't care. This is how hideous and beastly she is. She doesn't care. She'll find a way around it. She doesn't care.
It's absolutely crazy, And as far as the president goes, and this whole lie about Republicans are obstructing Congress. How many bills have passed the House that Senate Leader Harry Reid has said, I'm not going to allow these to come to a vote? I mean, who's really blocking everything? It's Harry Reid. He won't even allow budget bills to come to the Senate. He won't allow spending bills to come to the Senate. The guy refuses to let anything that has a Republican majority vote on it to come to even a vote. And yet Republicans are blamed for obstructing the president and not allowing bills to pass Congress. They're all a bunch of liars.
Yeah, I loved it. All right, Mark, when he was talking about, we've got to return to the American values. Return to them. They're under attack. American values of fair play and shared responsibility. Damn it all. I want to be rich someday. I hope to be. If I'm not, then so be it. God has a plan for me. But I'll tell you this. There is no way in hell I want to take any of my money to give for some schlep that is a victim in his own mind who sits on his ass every day and says, I can't. I need, like the Occupy people. Damn them. If they think I'm going to give them what I earned because I need to redistribute my wealth. The president, he's 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. And the other laughable thing about this is it's all about how good it sounds. Because you think when George Clooney starts having to give up his money and redistribute, or Barbara Streisand, or Jennifer Aniston and her $21 million Bel Air home she just bought, or anybody else that's or Kanye West, you think they're going to want to, or Jay-Z, you think they're really going to want to start giving people like you and me their money? Well, if they believed in redistribution of wealth, they'd be doing it right now without, they're not forced to yet, but they'd be doing it right now. It's such a joke. Oh, my God. All right. We'll continue to take your calls. I can't stand it. Are we that stupid as a country? Or are we all just in denial? I'm not. Well, my name is Jennifer Brian. This is Boston's Talk Station, AM 680 WRKO. All right. This is what I want you to do. This is your homework assignment. It's 1:40 at WRKO. If you did not see the State of the Union, watch it, but also read the transcript. If you saw the State of the Union, do yourself a favor and read the transcript. Because there you will see the president revealing himself as a liar or as a master manipulator, right? On one hand, he's talking about the executive branch, and finally he says that none of these reforms can happen unless we lower the temperature in this town, right? We need to end the notion that two parties must be locked in perpetual campaign of mutual destruction, and so on and so forth. And then he goes on to say this. This is a subtle slap. On the other hand, even my Republican friends who complain the most about government spending. So here he says, let's tone it down. Let's try to be more civil. Let's watch our discourse. Let's work together. And then but my Republican friends who complain the most. I mean, and he does it time and time and time again. Time and time again. At the end of it, as I told you, he talks about this is what we need to do in Washington. We need to work together. However, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to go ahead and do it on my own. I mean, it's so laughable, guys. It's 617-266-6868, 877-469-4322. Is the State of the Union strong? And even the most ardent supporters of this president, if you really look at his policies and what they have not done, how can you say that he is successful in any way? Class warfare, that's all he can run on. Oh, and Nancy Pelosi, what is this? She's got something on Newt Gingrich. Did she just, I mean, if she really has something, why don't you use it? Why are you threatening to use it? I think she actually shot herself in the foot. Because people are, going to either say, oh, she is making this up. This is manufactured gossip and or drama. Or she's just a crazy witch. She's a liar. She's losing it. Excuse me. Ronnie, welcome. You're on WRKO.
Hey, Jennifer. You know,
hey.
I'd really like to address this whole notion of all the problems the president inherited. When President Obama took office, unemployment was 5.9%. Our national debt was $10.6 trillion, and gas was $2 a gallon. Unemployment's 8.4 now. It was 9.1 for most of this presidency. Gas was at $4 a gallon for over a year and a half of this presidency, and now it's at $3.40. And the national debt, I mean, you know, look at what a Republican president, if he wins, is going to inherit. He's going to inherit a national debt of over $16 trillion, super high unemployment, super high gas prices. But do you think anybody, you know, do you think a Republican candidate would get away with saying, well, look what I inherited from Obama? I mean, you know, Obama inherited, you know, it wasn't pretty, but it was manageable, and he had Congress and the Senate in his back pocket for 2 years. And when I hear shared sacrifice and when I hear, you know, fairness, you know, those are just clarion calls for socialism, and it always has been all over the world. When you look at China, when you look at Russia, when you look at Brazil, all of their, you know, Marxist and socialist governments all started out with this clarion call of fairness for workers and shared sacrifice for everybody. I mean, it's America's already the most fair country on earth. I don't know why we need to change it.
Tell me, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi for a minute and Mitch McConnell. I think 33% of GOP folks that support the GOP want somebody new to jump in. Nancy Pelosi, could she potentially destroy Newt Gingrich, Ronnie? And what do you think? What does that say about? Is it too late for somebody to jump in right now? Because the former head of the RNC says that's insane, total insanity.
You know what, Jen? With the field this week, I don't think it's ever too late for somebody to jump in. If they have a strong message, if they're passionate about their conservative values, and especially if they don't back away from illegal immigration. I honestly think that's why Obama's going to win a second term, because none of these candidates will take that issue on head on. And it's one of the biggest detriments in our country, and they just don't want to touch it. And I think until they do, I think Obama is going to win. And I don't think Nancy Pelosi has anything explosive on Newt Gingrich, and I don't think she can really do him any more damage than than John King tried to with the debate or other people. I mean, I don't know what she's got in her hat, or in her witch's hat, but it can't be too serious.
Yeah,
I mean, do you think so?
I hope not. No, I don't think so. And as I said, Ronnie, I appreciate the call. I think that by simply saying, I have something that will be explosive, that will never happen, a Gingrich presidency. What? Are you really? Oh, my God. But I will tell you this. If 33% of GOP voters say it would be good if a new candidate entered the presidential race right now, this from a Rasmussen report, that's a telephone survey, guys, the president, I hate to say it, is probably going to win again. I do really worry. I'm not, Alfie, welcome. You're on WRKO.
Hello,
ahead,
Jen.
Alfie. Hey, Alfie.
Yeah, Jen, the media told us this guy was going to be like another JFK. And, I haven't been dazzled by him at all. And that Nancy Pelosi has given us a glimpse of how the media is, the cheerleading section for the Democratic Party. She knows that they're going to try to take the legs off whoever the Republican candidate, whoever comes to the top to challenge
but Alfie,
Obama.
people are, I'm losing faith. I am losing confidence in America because people are either too stupid and uninformed or irresponsible and don't want to know. And either of those is horrific to me.
Well, I've talked to some younger voters, and they're very loyal to Obama. These young Obots, they're going on, the fact that, Bush, did some screwy things, but they don't see the fact that this guy came in and did even a worse job.
Well, I listen, I appreciate the call, Alfie. I think, the problem is that you talk to young people, again, a lot of those people down at the Occupy, they don't know anything. They don't know what they're talking about. They have a vision, like I did when I was in my 20s, of how I hope things would go in this country. Let's save the environment. Let's be energy independent. War is bad. People, the rich is, I was one of those people at one point. And then I grew up, thank God. And I started reading and educating myself and talking to people. And hopefully they will grow up too. But it's frightening. B, welcome. You're on WRKO.
Yes, I'm just calling. I love your show, Jen. I'm concerned about the Navy SEALs. I'm hoping I heard wrong. Did the president not say that they gave him a flag with their signatures on it? And how safe are they now if those names ever get out? Not that I'm saying the president would let it out, but now we've got it in writing.
Well, the president, that was a great criticism of the president. Why did he reveal, remember those men, the SEAL team that was shot down in the helicopter? Why did he release the names of those? And he was heavily criticized for that, or at the very least, the team that took Osama bin Laden out. They were definitely under, they were in that, I just lost my train of thought, in that scope, so go ahead, what else do you got?
Well, that's the one thing that I had picked up on, and I was very concerned about that. And thank you so much, Jen, for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome, B. You're welcome. Yes, I don't know why it was revealed what SEAL team, who the specifics are. I don't know, but if you remember, again, there was a lot of criticism about the president, and then when some of the folks, not that participated in the mission, but that were still within that unit were killed. Well, I don't know what that says, but nothing is impossible. That's all I will leave that. I'll leave you with that on that situation. Jim, you're on WRKO. Go ahead.
How are you?
Good, sir.
I love your show. I think it's the best show on radio.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
About the thing last night, I just think he just lied through his teeth, and he doesn't know how to tell the truth, and he was waving the flag through the whole thing of it. And I think the only problem we have is people don't want to understand that life is not going to get any better out there until they start fighting for it. And, it's been great for 40, 50 years. And they just hate the mailman that delivers the bad package. So, and you're just telling them the absolute truth. People are wimps out there.
Well, you tell me. First, it's the State of the Union, Jim. I don't want you to say that thing there last night. It's the State of the Union. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm teasing you. But under this president, the price of a gallon of gas has jumped 83%. That's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The price of ground beef has gone up 24%. The price of bacon has gone up 22%. The price of milk has gone up 32%. I mean, let's talk about just things that you and I consume on a daily basis. Yet somehow people are saying, "Oh, I still love this man. He's doing right by this country." Why don't people care about the facts, Jim?
They're just real sheep. They're wimps. They just do not want to believe things are getting worse, or getting worse when things are actually getting worse. They want people to tell them life is getting better, and life is not getting any better.
Well, life is not, and I think that's the basic question. I appreciate the call, Jim, that people have to ask themselves when you go into the voting booth. Are we better off today than we were 4 years ago? And the thing is, again, the president cannot run on his record. You've got to tell anybody that's listening, tell your friends this if they support this president. So what is he going to do? He's going to divide. He's going to talk about Congress being incapable, of doing anything. And again, remind your friends that the Democratic majorities in Congress, the president had the most Democratic majority since the 1970s, and also this class warfare stuff. When did we talk about this in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? The early part of 2000, that rich is bad. Everyone wants to be rich. Somewhere in your mind, you want to be wealthy. Wealth is not bad. Lisa, welcome. You're on WRKO.
Hi. I just wanted to say that until Mitt Romney stands up and says, yeah, I pay 15% on my interest on what I had already paid taxes on, yeah, he's got to rally the troops. He's so worried, and a lot of conservatives, let's be polite. No, we're down in the trenches with them. We've got to defeat them. We've got to throw them out of office. And if he stands up there and blinks and, he's got caught, he did something wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. That's the tax code. And he's got to explain that to the people, and he should say, I can do this for you, and then maybe it'll work. And he hasn't broken any laws. And until he speaks up, that's what it's going to be.
All right, but here's the deal, Lisa. But here's the deal. I want you to think about this. Newt Gingrich is standing up the way you want Mitt Romney to, and people are saying it's too much. He's too much. It's obnoxious. And that's why I say I love it. I love Newt Gingrich with Nancy Pelosi.
They don't want Newt Gingrich to stand up. They want Mitt Romney to. Everybody can't stand Newt Gingrich. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a crook. Everybody knows it. He is such an idiot. He's a big, fat, old white sheriff from the South.
How do you feel, Lisa? Really? Okay, yikes. I guess he won't be getting a Christmas card from you next year. Sheesh. 617-266. 6868. 877-469-4322. Lisa? All right. Evidently you don't like Newt Gingrich. I do. We're also going to talk about something. Where have we next hour that has to do with Jay Leno? This is coming up probably from 2:30 to 3. Jay Leno is being sued. Did you hear this? Oh, guess by whom? Is that grammatically correct? Oh, you might want to. It's pretty obvious. There's one particular group of people that get really offended about everything. Jay Leno and NBC are being sued over a joke he made during his show, his monologue. We'll talk about that Where has the laughter gone? Coming up sometime after 2:30. Stick around, though. My name is Jen Breon. This is Boston's Talk Station, AM 680 WRKO.